of shiny helmets, spandex jumpsuits, and strange monsters. These heroes force feed you a bowl of awesome that is the Tokudon Podcast. Join Carl, Josh, and Rob as they haphazardly welcome you to the exciting genre of Tokusatsu. Now, open wide.
There. Oh god, the motions.
Sorry.
All right, would not be an episode without technical things.
Of course,
so
especially from me.
Cool. So I guess we'll get started then if you guys are all set.
Yeah.
Groovy.
So what I miss?
Nothing.
A lot of D&D talk.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. We talked about D&D for a little bit. I was telling him of our harrowing first adventure into D&D with Josh and Ben.
Yeah. My perfect character with all perfect stats, and I never even played one round.
And then me and Ben, I was telling him how me and Ben rolled so poorly that it just like we ended up hitting each other most of the time. So
That's great.
it was great.
Maybe one day I'll take another stab at it, but nah.
Yeah. We spent like 2 hours setting those characters up too.
It's a little, it's a little demoralizing when that happens, and you're just like, I think I'm good. I'm good.
Where does the line where's the line drawn between an insane dungeon master and a good game? Because it seems like it could go either way really quickly.
Depends on the dice rolls.
Touche.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! You got to believe in the heart of the dice.
Yeah. Like me, I have absolutely terrible luck when it comes to rolling dice, so my players are going to be kicking all kinds of ass up and down my dungeons.
There you go.
My bad guys are going to be like, he swings and stabs himself. I don't know.
I'm here to make you look good today.
Yeah, exactly. The news is you guys are going to feel like you're super powered because I'm going to roll like crap.
There you go. All right. Well, we are here today with our main man, brother from another Toku mother, Zach Lavoie.
Welcome, Zach.
What's going on, Zach?
Hey, guys.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking some of the possibly the most charming Sentai I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
I honestly genuinely enjoy this. We're going to be talking about Zenkaiger today.
Yay.
In the first 12 episodes or so, or 11 episodes, whatever we're up to now, I guess it's 13 technically, including today's episode as the time of the recording.
Ooh.
But I've seen up to 12, but you guys seen all 12 episodes?
I've gotten up to 8. I haven't gotten them because of the whole
fool.
apocalypse. I'm sorry. It's hard.
You fool.
I'm doing the best I can.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, at those episodes, as long as you can see the fights and clips and stuff, you probably know what happened.
I actually just want to know all about Zenkaiger. So please,
that's
please.
Fine. You saw the important part. You saw the dance. You're good. So yeah, let's get into it. I kind of don't want this to turn into just like rolling through what each episode's about. So I figured we'd kind of just talk about the stuff instead of just like plots and things like that.
So,
why don't we start with the main crew? Or actually, let's start with overall feels of the show. How are you guys feeling about this season so far?
So this is like the first Sentai that I've picked up since Godzilla, like that I've legitimately wanted to watch one complete through.
And that's because there's a 6th Gokaiger in here. That's why.
That was before. No. Before I knew that was happening. To be fair. Now I'm all the way on board. But I mean, seriously, I definitely I wanted to give it a chance because it was it started off like, I don't know if when I saw that promo, I was like, well, that's very different. I'm on board with this. Even before I knew anything, just the look sold me.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I dig it, man. Like Rob said, the look of it at first with the teaser, and they're like, yeah, they're robot teammates, and it was kind of weird, but at the same time, it's like, well, we've had robot teammates before. I mean, look at the Q Ranger, like we've had robots. It's fine, they're just different suits, and it'll be interesting and unique, and but like you said, it's really charming. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's the characters are interesting, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. Yeah.
And last time you were here, we were talking about kind of the Bulk and Skull slapstick stuff. I think they do that really well in this season a lot. Like there's definitely that like comedy aspect they always have with Sentais, but like none of it feels forced or like, I don't know. It's just actually enjoyable as opposed to like a heavy sigh kind of comedy.
Right. Yeah. It's natural with the theme of the show because it's lighthearted. It's not such a sharp contrast when they do the slap. Like, what was the episode with Stacy, where they're falling asleep? Like,
yeah,
that brief moment when they introduced him, I'm like, that didn't come off as weird as I thought it was.
Yeah. I'm genuinely enjoying what we've seen so far. I marathoned most of this for the show because I'm super great at preparing for things.
Hey, man.
Procrastinate like always. So yeah, no, it honestly wasn't. There's definitely some times when we watch shows like this, and I just, especially with Sentai, like we haven't really done Sentai on the show until about 3 weeks ago or so when we had the Bugs to Men guys on and we were doing the top 5 Sentai suits. That was actually our first Sentai Tokudon episode. Yeah. And now we're going pretty hard into Sentai lately. So yeah, like the vertical slice for me at least has been it's been like Kyoryuger to Q Ranger was pretty much my vertical slice, and then I had like Dai Ranger, and then everything else was just exposure from Power Rangers really. Yeah. So this is, I think, a very good anniversary season. Like I think this is possibly the best anniversary season in Toku that I've seen possibly ever.
Okay.
I mean, not to say much, especially coming from Kamen Rider, there's not a lot of competition. You know, there's Decade and Geo, and they're both
G what? No,
exactly. Who? G who? G who?
G who? Anyway,
so yeah, it's great.
Tell me what you guys are thinking that since it's lighthearted, since it's super lighthearted, they're probably not going to go a lot of the offing characters route, but I kind of have a weird vibe about Juran, because he's also on another show now, right? He's on the Ultraman.
Juran is on Ultraman?
Mm-hmm. The Juran actor is now going to be on the Trigger, Ultraman Trigger.
Oh yeah, no, so actually I wanted to talk about that too, since we're going to go into the team itself. All the voice actors are like legit voice actors. Like they've done some characters. So I don't know if you guys have looked into this at all, but Juran is voiced by Shintaro Asanuma. He's Hiroto Meihara from Assassination Classroom. I've never seen that. It's an anime, but he's also Sambaba from Juoger. He's one of the kaijin from there. Gaon is the one I'm probably the most familiar with, and probably the general masses will be familiar with, because that's Eren Yeager and Todoroki Shoto. So that's a big guy right there. And he's done a couple other Sentai stuff too, I believe. Majine is Rika in SSS Gridman. If anyone follows me on Twitter, I'm a huge Gridman fan. So that's the main girl in SSS Gridman. And then she's also Mei in the new Godzilla series. Had to throw that in there because, obligations. And then Vroon is actually Meijin Kawaguchi from Gundam Build Fighters. And my personal favorite, Caesar Zeppeli from JoJo.
Oh, okay.
Caesar freaking Zeppeli.
Well,
Bubbles all day, baby.
It really does come across, because in the episodes, like, their dynamic and their chemistry is so fun, and you're not bored. Like, especially Gao. Gao is just that level of ridiculous where it would get cringy, but it's so fun to see, because I guess you're right, because of the actor behind it. It's not weird.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the designs?
I like them. Like, each one really is unique, and it invokes that feel of the season or series that they're based on.
That is a dope aspect. Yeah.
Like, I love that we get the retro Daijujin helmet when Juran transforms, and I love that we get Imagine gets the hat, the wizard hat, and it's like, this is so fun that they're doing this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think because this isn't a traditional Sentai, right? Like, we have one dude who's a regular ranger, and then we have a bunch of robots, but they're all Megazords. They're literally Megazords. And each one follows a different one. Like you were saying, you got Juran, who's red. He follows the Jew Ranger / Mighty Morphin. If anyone's watching who's more into Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin that season. We have Gao Ranger, or Wild Force. Is that what it was called? Yeah, Wild Force.
Yeah, Wild Force.
And then we have Magi Ranger, or Mystic Force. I always forget that one. That's when I stopped. And then it took me a second, because I thought Varun was Car Ranger at first, because I'm not super familiar with the mecha. But it's Bokenger, and that's also why, because I never actually saw Bokenger. Or Operation Overdrive, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Because I stopped like at SPD, and then after that, you're talking to the wrong guy.
Well,
So.
I mean, yeah, again, we're all about learning about Sentai now because we just haven't. But yeah, like I don't know what the story here. I only got up to episode 8, so I don't know if I don't know how much I've missed if they dropped any more gems. But this whole thing about his parents and this mystery behind him, one, kind of predict where that might go. Two, I really need one of the guns. I need one of those so bad, bro. Like, bro, come on.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Oh my god.
I love it. They are. Me and Zach were talking right before you got on. Things are so huge in the show, though. They're ginormous.
Yeah.
Like in the show themselves, they look huge. Yeah, then like I've never seen like there's obviously the Sentai RPG pocket. I've never seen it as bad as in this show when he just like whips them out as they're building the team in the first couple episodes. He just like pulls it out from behind him and it's just this huge like cannon thing and he's like, here you go.
Oh, wait, you guys, my favorite was a continuing joke was when they accidentally fired that shot before the engine.
Every time, every time we add a new character, someone takes out a jobber by accident, or Majina, it goes off in her ear, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
I loved it so much. That was so great.
Yeah, the first episode, we're talking to Juron, the Jew Ranger. And he's just holding this thing, and then they're about to do their big like kaijin speech, and I'm gonna take over the way. He just murks a jobber.
He's like,
everyone's completely silent for a second.
like wait, did he just? Yeah, he did.
Like that episode in general, I thought was one of the stronger of the. And it could have just been because it was the first episode, but I think it was the strongest of the like 5 character episodes. Yeah. Because he like rolls up and he's like, "Yo, what up, young people? Can I party with you?"
How's it going, my fellow friends?
Yeah, hello, fellow party young people. How are you? Yeah. And then so it's extremely lighthearted. And then in that same episode, they kind of the world merges, and all of a sudden the bad guys show up. And Toji Gendo, I think they're called, something like that. Toji Tendo. There you go. Toji Tendo. And that's the army of the evil baddies. And everyone just assumes he's one of them too. And I was like, oh, this is a really cool dynamic. Like, of course he looks like the bad guys. And then, going into they're using the power of the bad guys and all that kind of stuff. But I thought that was really cool because they're like, oh yeah, invaders. And he looks like this guy, but he's not really a bad guy. He's just an idiot. So I thought that was a really cool aspect they played off right in the beginning. They haven't really done too much with it, but I thought that was pretty cool.
The Toji Tendo is a pretty cool idea. I like the the evil robot empire because that's always been my worst favorite thing. So.
No. How do you feel about the evil robot wall? Bokowaus.
I love the freaking running gag of him slamming his fist on the thing, and you just see all the others like Ichiru is bouncing up because he's a tank.
Bouncing, yeah. Oh, it's so good. And then they have the big. So that's kind of the thing too. Well, let's get into them for a second. So we got the big guy, Bokuwos. He's the wall, the angry wall with one arm. You have his little pet bird that looks suspiciously like Sekchan, who's the like little mascot bird. Yeah. Gigi is Gigi. I don't know the bird that's with him, the giant bird. Yeah. And then we have Barashitara, who's basically just Tank Goldar. And then we have Doc Legs, as I like to call him, Ichijoji. Yes. And yeah, they're kind of like the big bads of the main council that kind of unleash the kaijin onto the world. And I think they're an interesting little group. I thought it was nice that they didn't have like 7 or 8 of them and kind of felt samey sort of thing. Like you have your war man, and then you have your scientist guy, and then you have big boss man. I thought it was a pretty interesting little crew.
It's kind of cool. Go ahead, Zach.
No, I was just gonna say I love how they use the gears of the worlds that they've captured to create the monsters of the week and the mecha, and we get such goofy concepts that are just absolutely hysterical, like Sushi World or Recycling World or Garbage World or whatever that one was. It's like this is so out there as a concept, but it kind of works because you go with it because it is so lighthearted.
Yeah. Absolutely. And my personal favorite of the group was Boxing World, just
Boxing-
because it turned everyone into a badass. And they're just ready to square up. Oh, so good. So good. One of my good.
What do you think of the hero though? Because he's very bubbly. He's the bubbliest.
Kaito?
yeah.
Zenkaiger?
Yeah. Again, I love that design. It's so throwback, so retro, so dope.
Mhm.
But his character is just like, okay, that's just
He's
Shonen
very
MC.
happy-go-lucky, like
Shonen MC, bro.
I love his whole thing where he's like, I'm gonna be the first in the world to save the world, and it's like,
First in
all
the
right, go
world.
for it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
That's a first that only works when we're in this like multiverse aspect that they're going with.
Yeah.
It's like, you are 45 in line, my dude. You've had quite a few firsts before you.
I'm the first 45th Ranger. Yeah.
I thought his overall design was really cool because it was very reminiscent of Big One, which is the
Yeah,
original
it's
Six
like-
Ranger essentially.
I love when they came out with the original like description of what the character design was going to look like, and everyone's like, it looks like if Big One and Kamen Rider Mach had a baby, and there were also bits of like Go Red, and it's like this is amazing.
Yeah,
It is.
I don't hate any of these words right now.
Yeah.
No, where are you going with this? Come on.
It's super interesting to me for him to be like, obviously he's the main, quote unquote Red Ranger, the leader of the team. And I say that with quotes because he's not red really. He's white for the most part, just like Big One. But it's very cool and interesting to see that he's like kind of not really like the star. Like the rest of his team are the ones who do most of the stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, he's fighting, he's doing the stuff, and like he jumps in when they turn into their big Gatai mech. But like he really is just the enabler for them to do their stuff. You know what I mean? I thought that was a very interesting aspect where he's just not like, Kyoryuger Red King. He's just like the star of the show. Like it's the King show at that point. It's very much he supports them. He's in a supporting role and lets them kind of do their thing. I thought that was a very cool kind of different take on it, as opposed to just the Red Ranger doing everything.
Yeah, I mean, Zach, you're more familiar with Sentai than we are, but is that something that's different this time around, or do they usually have this? Because, I should say, I've been watching Dino Fury, and I get the same, what you were just implying about Kaito's character is what I get from Zeto, where he's like the tie, not just the main character.
I mean, it really does kind of depend on the series. Like Carl said with Kyoryuger, it was the Daigo show. Like he was the one that had the most character development, the most kind of storylines, everything like that. But then there are other series like Lupin Ranger versus Power Ranger, where you had both teams getting sort of their own storylines, and it wasn't really necessarily exclusively Lupin Red or Pata Red or Pata and Ichigo. Like they weren't necessarily the stars. It was kind of like each team had like a good equal billing. With this, it's cool to see, like they have set up this kind of mystery of like, hey, what's going on with his parents? But until we learn more about that, we also have like just fun focus episodes of like, hey, Majin is a total slob and she doesn't pick up after herself. And,
that's cute.
And Varun is this totally like curious, wants to know everything about the human world and wants to, because I think Varun is probably my favorite character just because of like the way he started out he was a janitor for the bad guys. And the bad guys were like, you're a janitor. We don't care about you. Go away. And he's like, oh, I'll go away. Can I join you guys to fight the bad guys?
Because he calls them out. That's the best part. He calls out Ichijuda and he's like, are you fucking up, bro? What did you do? What did you do? And Ichijuda's like, did you tell him?
Logically.
Kill him, get him out of here.
Yeah. Kudex, go get him. Go get him, Kudex. So yeah, the idea of him as this kind of hapless, like you know, the first time we meet him, he's just like sweeping up, like, oh, it's a living, like,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then he turns into a full on hero. I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
That is a dope story for them.
Who's your favorite, Rob, out of the
That's-
5 main guys?
I mean, I haven't seen Kaiser yet, so I'm pretty sure that'll be it.
Just
But
the main
for
crew.
Now,
Yeah.
For now, I mean, oh, is he not the main crew?
Not yet.
I mean, he's the 6th Ranger, but we're talking original 5 right now.
So okay, so they're
Yeah.
doing the Sixth Ranger is the villain at first thing.
Not really the villain. He's just kind of an anti-hero right now.
Yeah, he just kind of does what he wants.
Yeah.
Oh man,
We have another, probably going to be the 7th Ranger we'll talk about in a second, Stacy. That's going to be the villain
Yeah.
turned.
I only
good
got
guy.
a little bit of him because I only got to that end of the episode. But so far, I mean, I really like Judan. He's just like he's so much fun in every scene he's in. He doesn't really steal it, but I find myself always watching him in every scene he's in.
Yeah. Because he's basically Momotaro's, right? Like he has that same kind of energy to him.
I
Where
was
it's
gonna say, yeah, that is a
vibe.
very Momotaro's energy to him.
Yeah.
And I can't get enough of him. Like I like and not to mention the henshin when they do change, bro. That his form is my favorite of all of them. Gao is probably second.
Okay. I would agree. I think Juron's probably my favorite too, just because he does the little boogie when he henshins too. I like little boogie. But honestly, one I was the most surprised about, who like right out the gate I didn't like, was Majina, and then by the end of her episode, I honestly was all about it. Like, and then as it keeps going, I'm kind of like, she's the most broken character in this crew right now. She can literally do whatever she wants. But like right out the gate, she kind of comes across as that typical Pink Ranger kind of thing, like the princess, kind of not good enough for the job, but she's just kind of in the crew sort of thing. And then like,
Yeah.
she's bashful, she's shy, she does whatever. But then like she kind of steps up a little bit, and then she has some like pretty great one-liners when she's interacting with everyone else. And then especially when she's getting called out for being super messy, she's like, "I'm not messy, I swear." And then she just like destroys a building. So
The writing isn't half bad. I like the writing.
Yeah, like I'll give her an honorable mention, honestly. But yeah, I'd agree. I think Juron is probably my favorite so far.
Right.
And one thing when it comes to, obviously, Sentai, they always have a cadence to their seasons, especially in the beginning. Like when we typically watch a show, it's, we watch the first 10 or so on Tokudon here, and then we kind of get an impression. Yep. In this first 10, I feel like it was a very, again, we were talking about Zenkaiger not being the star of the show, but we were at the same time, when you have like the Varun episode, it's not necessarily all about Varun gets separated from the group and has his episode sort of thing. Right. I thought it was kind of cool that it really was more of like a team bonding kind of thing. Like he's doing the cleaning and then he's calling them out on cleaning, all that kind of stuff. And like when Majina is doing her thing, like she's being awful at fortune telling. And then Zenkaiger makes up some nonsense excuse to make her not feel bad about herself. But like, it was really cool to see their individual episodes really encompass everyone, not just like how Zenkaiger's interacting with them. You know what I mean? I thought that was a cool little change of pace to their usual formula.
Yeah,
that's exactly the vibe I'm getting. That's why I'm enjoying this one a lot, because it's just so different. It's so fun.
They feel like a team. You know what I mean? Like almost every shot you see, they're all together. Whether unless someone's having a hissy fit, like Gaon is kicking his own team's ass or something.
It's a different quirk. I didn't expect that personality trait. I mean, to be so what is it, against things that are hard?
Racist.
Well, I mean, listen, I wasn't trying to go that
wrong.
way. But I'm just saying.
He was definitely like, when we start out, he's definitely racist to his own people kind of thing. And then like you find out his like saving grace is he really loves animals, because he's just like gushing in a pet shop like I do, like looking at the cute dogs and cats and stuff. And it's absolutely adorable. And then he at one point he literally kicks Juron's sword out of his hand and it hits Majina and Varun. And they have their little like, "Why do you hate us so much?" And he's like, "I don't. I really like people." That kind of thing.
That he regards human beings with the same way that we might regard like a baby kitten or a puppy.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a fun, twist or take on that character, to have him just be like, "Oh, look at the human, it's so cute."
Yeah. And it's cool too, just because like, I mean, I hate most of our people too. Like, humans suck. So it's something I can relate to. Like, look at that cute little idiot over there.
You actually like this thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think this is one of the, I mean, we'll see if, this is probably going to go into the 40-ish episodes. We'll see if it keeps that kind of pace. But so far, honestly, I think this is the most like one of, at least of the shows I've seen, one of the most coherent and strong groups I think we've had in a little while, or at least that I've seen in a little while. They found a nice balance, I think, between the 5 of them.
Gimmick. I like
Gimmick.
Now,
So you guys want to talk about the Geartlingers? Is that what they're called? The Geartlingers? And they're coins?
Yeah, can we please?
The gears?
I got my
Zach,
gears right here.
Can I see?
Which ones do you have?
Well, first of all,
Okay.
we got the man.
Zenkaiger. Okay. Juran. All right.
Juran. We have.
Okay, Gaon.
Gaon.
We've got Imagine. And we've got Rune. I bought the combo set that came with the holder.
Okay.
So that came with Gaon,
So you got the crew.
Imagine and Rune, and then the actual changer itself came with Zenkaiger and Juran.
Just on looks alone, is Varun still your favorite, like, overall?
So, thing about me is when it comes to my favorite color is blue. That's my favorite color. My favorite type of Sentai vehicles are the cars, the trucks, the more vehicle based mecha. Okay. And so when they're like, oh, here's a mecha Sentai base, like, and he's blue and he's kind of a nerd and he wears glasses and he wants to know everything, I'm just like, does Toei just know I exist? Like, did they find a picture of me somewhere and just go, what would he look like as a blue truck man? Like, so
they saw one of the Heisei Week streams and they were like, this
exactly.
Is our next
Sentai. This is my boy right here.
That's our guy right there.
I like it. That's awesome. What about you, Rob? Just strictly on aesthetics for their henshins and forms.
Aesthetic, I'm totally for Zenkai. The main look. That's what hooked me, and I can't get enough of it, man. Juran is my favorite character, but can't beat that design. And I can't even see a power. Where are you going to get a power up? I don't see a power up.
Yeah. I mean, they do have that one spin-off one where it was just like a red version of him, but I think that was a totally different character.
Yeah, that was a
tribute, right?
Yeah. That was like the hyper battle video kind of thing. For me, I think, honestly, out of the, again, strictly aesthetically, I think Gaon is my favorite. I just dig I dig Cow Ranger in general. Like Wild Force, I always thought was a really cool season in Power Rangers, and Cow Ranger in general just always seemed way cooler than Wild Force, but that's a whole other conversation. But like, I just think Gaon looks really cool. I dig his like plug dreads too, just aesthetically. I think those are so cool. And then the only reason Juran wasn't my favorite is because he didn't have the little hand when he gets big. So one of the big things, the King was a Drew. I can't talk right now. The Megazord from Jew Ranger. Yeah. One of the big things I always noticed, even when I was a kid, is like when he first transforms, he's got 2 big meaty knucks, like they always have, right? They got the big, Kamen Rider knuckle hands. And then when he's holding his sword, he gets a little itty bitty silver hand.
Little baby hand and glove.
Little baby hand. Because clearly that thing was not about to hold that sword. So they had to swap it out and hope no one noticed. That's the only thing I wish they hearken it to. And then, but there is a later episode when Stacy shows up, which you can get into Stacy in a minute.
Yeah, please, because I don't know anything.
But once Stacy shows up, that he summons a bunch of the old Zords, and they did keep the little hand, which I thought was amazing. So definitely go on aesthetically.
Because I only saw him pop up and do his little magic trick.
Yeah, so let's get into Stacy. So our inevitable 7th Ranger at this point.
You're calling it now. That's your prediction.
I'm calling it right now. I think it's inevitable. Okay. Because apparently it was confirmed somewhere I saw on the socials that he has some kind of tie to Kaido Zenkaiger.
Naturally, of course.
Apparently it was confirmed. So Stacy, a little background. Let's just throw this out there first. We find out he is the son of Bashitara. Is that his name? I always forget his name. The tank dude, the tank general. He's the son of Bashitara, who's Stacy's mother was the 893rd wife of Bashitara.
Okay.
That's a lot of alimony payments.
That's a lot of child support. That's a lot of alimony. I feel like he's the reason they started collecting worlds. He's like, listen, boss,
I got
a lot of payments. Okay, got to seal these away. Ridiculous.
Okay, so he's half machine.
As far as we know right now, he's half human. That's all we know.
That's all we know.
Or at least partially human. That's the exact quote. Partially human.
Partially human. Okay.
Yeah, he's a genetic soldier experiment, apparently.
Okay.
So, yeah. And he uses the Dark Gear Clinger These are very hard words this season. I get, which I think is a way cooler gun personally, because it kind of has this hip hop beat when he uses it, as opposed to the kind of like bang bang doon 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 doon. I dig the hip hop version of the dark one a lot more.
I love the way he uses it to transform, because the regular Zenkaiger shoot out or to shoot up or whatever. Yeah. Homeboy just takes a gun right to his forearm and into his arm.
He injects it into his arm. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty sick.
Really? Does he? Okay. So who does he summon? Does
his thing is kind of like the end. He summons the old Ranger forces.
Yeah.
So he'll summon the actual Rangers themselves instead of invoking their powers like the Zenkaiger do.
Oh, that's dope. Okay. So they have
Peacemaker says they also love that his suit is very much Battle Fever J. It's actually a repurposed Battle Fever J. So that's kind of how they keep that theming of anniversary season stuff going.
Mm-hmm. I gotta see it. Hold on.
Very cool.
There's definitely some.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, there's definitely some other like that black undersuit with like the silver striping also reminds me of oh gosh, what was her name in Deca Ranger?
The cat.
Morgana in SPD. The bad chick that had the purple and black undersuit whose name I can't remember, but yeah, there's definitely some really cool some subtle villain designs in his design.
I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The helmet especially is just Battle Fever J's helmet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, just Battle Fever J.
Literally just repainted.
Japan.
And in a show like this, it's not too distracting.
No.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like they do. Like I said, I think this might be the best anniversary season so far because they're using those themes, and it's not just like obviously Stacy now can summon all the different Zords or teams, that kind of thing, but they're just invoking the powers. Where like Gokaiger was pretty cool. Them turning into him, that was cool. I think it got a little much and repetitive in my opinion. But I mean that's just my basic opinion. We don't have to get into that right now. But
it's a battle for another day.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of cool. Like, let's harken back to it. But it's not all about just like, hey, look at this old Toku actor. Hey, look at this old Toku actor. You know what I mean? Like they have their own identity as well, but they're celebrating Sentai at the same time.
I mean, the way he summons the old mecha and they come out in their toy packaging. That was the cherry on top. Oh yeah. When he summons the old mecha, they pop up out of the ground in their packaging from like when you would have bought them in the toy store. And
that's amazing.
It's like, this is the most out there attention to detail that I didn't know I wanted, but now that I have it, I love it.
It's a love letter. That's all it is. It's an anniversary love letter, like it should be.
I am all for it because holy crap, are you serious? That's amazing. I would love that.
When it happened and Twitter went nuts, and I'm just watching everybody be like, the DX packaging, holy crap. And I'm just like, yeah, this is cool. This is I want more of this, absolutely. And
really cool. fresh out of the box.
It's so wild, man. Like the way it popped up, and I'm like, I've seen that packaging before. That's so cool.
No, man.
Yeah. This, I can't get over how great it is.
Actually, that brings me to my next question, Zach. What's your favorite mech this so far?
Of this season, I gotta go with the Vroon Majine combo. Because you get the fun, like I said, vehicle. I love vehicle mecha. So like Car Ranger, Bokenger, all those vehicle based mech I love.
Yeah.
And so you get that combined with the fun of Majine's magic and her dragon form.
So I guess we should explain what we mean by combined, because this whole thing might be confusing for people. So one of the cool things about this is obviously all they do is flip over that little gear thing. I was like, that's it? That's it. And then they do the Mario power up where they grow bigger, and then they become like, I guess they become a Zord that ends up being half of a whole.
Yeah.
Rather than just a part of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making sure I got
And they
it.
can hot swap too. Like
They
there's
can,
there's their base transformation, which you have Juron and Gaon are their main combination, and then you have Rune and Majina, but they can hot swap as well. So every time they introduce, after they introduce, Juron and Gaon, Majina does her round robin with everyone, and then Rune does his round robin with everyone as well.
Yeah.
And obviously the difference is abilities then, or whatever attack.
Yeah. Majina pretty much lets them fly around and do whatever. So you had like a flying Zord. It basically turned into like the pterodactyl Dino Fury Zord. So
it's different. I haven't seen something so simple but yet effective. Yeah. It's literally just...
Can we talk about how when Juron and Gaon first transformed, they got a little smooch? I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
That was hysterical, yeah.
Yeah. And I really love the whole like sequence to it too. I don't know why, just something about Zenkaiger above them being like, "Come to me," and like smashing them together. Something about it is just super cool. And whenever he shows up in that arena thing, like for whatever reason, they're both in arenas. One's in a boxing ring.
Am I missing
the other
something?
One's in like a football stadium or something.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
He's just
stand up.
him.
There's just like, now kiss.
And they just like open up and then wow, combine.
I like when they open up and then he's still like drifting there. It's just like, hey.
It's really cool. And then later when Rune and Majina are there, he can just like hop between them, which is kind of cool. He just like portal jumps between the two mechs. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. So I think my favorite, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when Juron first becomes, the large T-Rex, he does the Godzilla fly through the air as a finisher. Yeah, so he turns around and fire breathes just like Godzilla does. If anyone, I guarantee people have seen the GIF of him flying through the air, and that's his finisher. And then the Kaijin literally says, "Come on with your butt," as he stabs him. I thought that was amazing.
It's the stuff like that makes this show fun.
Yeah.
And it's going to be better. It's going to get better too. Holy crap. I haven't even seen Kaiser yet.
Now, let me ask you guys this question, because it's kind of something that I've been thinking about lately is, are you distracted by the purely CGI environments? Yes.
That was one of the things I was going to bring up about the Ice episode. That episode is literally 22 minutes on a green screen.
Really?
It's rough, right? Like, I was thinking about, like, the first time I really thought about how much I was bothered by it was when they went to his parents' secret lab under the store.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was just a little CGI platform and CGI environment. I'm like, man, they really cut the like location budget this year, because this is rough.
I'm curious if it has something to do with COVID too, just because Japan obviously is in the lockdowns. Like Saber did the same thing, right? Like with the Megiddo, they had their lair, but all of a sudden they were just in like a fully CG version.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if it has something to do with COVID, maybe location shutdown, that kind of thing.
Maybe. I'm thinking it probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, it's very strange. I will say, like, I mean, suspension of disbelief kind of thing when they went into the parents' lab. I was like, oh yeah, look, secret Sentai lair. Sure, why not? Let's make it all CG. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, when in the Ice episode, when Majina gets introduced and literally the entire world is frozen over, so it's on a green screen for 22 minutes, it looked like basically a Scooby-Doo thing of them running around on a green screen. Yeah. Like it was pretty rough.
The bit in that episode where they're sliding around super fast is hysterical too.
It is. And then Majina just kind of slowly slides by at the one point when she comes to like come hang out and join the Zenkaiger. I thought I died laughing. Beth was like sitting over there on the TV, like we're on the couch watching something. I'm just like dying because I have my headphones on. She can't hear
it. We all have those moments. I like when I'm.
She's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "Nothing."
Like, side note, since I started watching Flashman, like the show's bananas, and I love I'm only on episode 10, and I've loved every single episode for how ridiculously fun it is, and can't wait till you guys talk about it. But since I've been watching it, she's like, "What are you laughing about? What is?" I'm like, "You have no idea, because this is so dumb but so fun."
Yeah.
But it's really hard to explain. I'd have to give you a brief history lesson on Japanese television for children.
And their love of puns, which I have to say, their pun game is on point this season. I dig it a lot. Like normally it's kind of like a hard eye roll kind of stuff, but I really dig the puns and I'm all for it.
Yeah, the puns this season are so good from the villains.
Yeah. And especially when they have their little like PSAs as they're dying. Make sure you separate your trash, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Peacemaker says the CG thing is probably half COVID and half the only way to show the world takeover gimmick with the gears. So I get that part. Which,
Yeah.
speaking of which, with the world takeover, when they get large and the Judai test takeover as the large kaiju, I think that set that they use is really cool. I don't know, something about it. I don't know if it's the dark gray background or what, but something about that set is so cool to me every time they do it. I don't know why. Especially, I think it was the mushroom episode. That one in particular, it looked super cool.
That one was really awesome. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. The way that they had the physical mushroom props on the building, and everything, and like the I wouldn't call it smoke, but like the spore in the air that looks really,
Yeah, it's just something about it. They've done a really good job. Like, for me, honestly, a lot of especially since the last couple seasons, Sentai mech fights have just been CG nonsense and big dumb looking mech that clearly no one can actually run around in a suit. These ones are surprisingly cool. Like, you see the Juran and Gohan one doing spin kicks and stuff, even though it's this big goofy suit. I think they really did a good job with these suits and kind of balancing the practical and the CG stuff this season. Let's get into Tokaiser. You're good. Let's get into Tokaiser since we talked about our inevitable seventh Ranger, but let's talk about the actual sixth Ranger.
Is he a character that we know already, or is this fresh face?
He just comes in out of nowhere.
Yeah,
love it.
Literally comes in out of nowhere. So to set up the episode, they're dealing with this door mech or door kaijin that makes them separate. They all get separated, and Zenkaiger's fighting Stacy, and all of a sudden, as the robot crew is handling the kaiju, this dude just comes out of nowhere and starts belting a song.
What?
Yeah, this dude comes out of nowhere belting a song.
10 out of 10. I couldn't do any better.
Oh my God. I've been practicing all morning. I was like, should we get it going? Let's do it.
Dude, are you serious?
I am 100% serious.
And his changer is so ludicrous because as silly as this thing is, his has a giant ship wheel on it.
Yep.
And a sword that comes out to be a
full-size sword.
Like a full-size pirate cutlass. And
gotta see it.
It's got a tambourine aspect to it where he's just
yeah, so he's doing his dance and it's just bang 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 bang, and he's got to tap it, and he taps it on his foot and stuff, and he has this whole huge jig to it.
That's amazing.
It's the most absurd henshin I've ever seen in my life.
It's so over the top. It is so over dramatic. And
ridiculous.
It's perfect for Tokaiser.
That's what I was about to say. So he's absolutely perfect for the show. Got it.
Yeah. And he his whole thing is he just makes songs up as he's going around. And Juran pointed out at one point, and he's just why are you singing?
Because of Juran.
So, he just descends out of the sky and graces us with his golden dancing presence. That's literally the intro to Tokaiser.
Yeah.
So is he the allegory for all six Rangers? Or is it just Gokaiger? Because he just looks straight up Gokaiger.
He's literally a six Ranger. They literally say so. The sister apparently designed his gear, and they stole the specs when they went into Toji Tendo. They were just they're from Piratopia, which is the world that they're from, which I think they said was the Gokaiger world. I don't remember. But their world anyway is a bunch of pirates, and they saw the Gokaigers, and she was just like, this looks cool. Let's design it after that.
Well, okay. That's better.
Yeah.
That's actually
she literally just I saw the Gokaigers and I thought they were cool, so I jacked their style.
Perfectly legit. I'm like, you know what? good on you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Peacemaker says Gokaiger world is a separate world. So yeah.
Okay.
So they're just in Piratopia, where everyone's a hard pirate.
His suit is just so amazing. I'm thinking on it. I'm just it is such a good suit too. The way it has the big shoulders that almost look like the bridge of a ship. And he's got his double horn pirate hat up the top, and
it's
so good.
It's like the Super Saiyan form of Gokai Red.
It's so gaudy and over the top, but again, it works with that character because he's kind of just gaudy and over the top. He's literally a J-pop star. He rolls up as an actual J-pop star.
Yeah.
And he just starts singing, doing his thing, and it's everything he does is just bombastic and ridiculous. And a different way than Juron, because Juron is, like we were saying, that Momotaro's energy where he's just like, rah, scream, antics. He's just, I don't know. He just like rolls up and steals the show and starts singing and dancing.
Did we see his mech already?
We have, yes.
Yeah. As of episode 12.
12, and then I saw a clip from 13. We see the other form. So he has, Kaiser has 3 people with him, since we don't really talk about it. His sister, the one who designed his stuff, is kind of like his co-pilot. She hangs out in the Zord mech ship that they use. So their whole thing is they're world pirates, as they call themselves. They go around to different worlds, stealing all their treasures and things like that. So that's just what they do, usual pirate fare. And then there's 2 robot brothers that are with them. Ricky and what's the other guy's name?
Katana,
yeah. So they are 2 little robots that are, speaking of CG, very poorly animated when they're the CG forms. Extremely, like literally a JPEG just hanging out on the screen that like starts sliding around. It's
High
so
quality.
bad.
High
That
quality.
pretty, pretty rough.
Yeah, like there's a couple scenes where they have little toys and they're like moving them around, like the usual puppet things.
Yeah.
But when they're CG and they're literally just doing that, oh, it's so bad. I don't know what happened there. Honestly, it's very upsetting every time I see it.
And you find out that they are these little SD robots because the whole family had previously went to SD-topia, which is the SD world, and the boys were arguing and something or other, and then they got cursed to be little SD robots.
Really?
So they're human, but they look like SD robots right now because of a curse.
Yeah.
Because
of that, it grants Kaiser new forms. He uses them in forms. So he has the Shinken form and the Oren form, which is Oranger and Shinken. And Peacemaker made a point that it's very confusing with the Oran form because it's a martial arts form. So he has 2 separate dances for these as well, by the way. Completely different dances.
Of course he does. Sure.
And I like the Shinken one because he does this cool little like ooh kind of thing as he goes into it.
Oh, like a Goemon type?
Yeah, he does he doesn't do the head twirl, but he does the stance.
Okay.
As he goes into it. And so that's obviously a katana form, Shinkenger, all that kind of stuff. He actually gets the Shogun jacket, I believe it was called in the show. So he gets that white jacket that they get. He gets that, but it's red. And then Oren, he gets this really cool looking, like Egyptian style, almost pharaoh outfit, like over top of his Kaiser outfit. I thought that was super cool looking. But I have to agree, it's a little weird what they chose for his like ability in Oren form or Oran form, because he becomes a punch man. He literally becomes a karate punch man. He literally does like the Os stance and everything. And at one point, he literally does an aura punch. Literally, exactly.
Yeah.
Ricky even says aura as he's doing it. I enjoy it. I enjoy big fist punch men, but it does not make sense. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I think ancient Egypt, I don't think punch men. I mean, I do if it's a JoJo reference, but that's a whole other conversation. But I think those forms are very cool, and I kind of hope he gets more, but I think it's also a gimmick that can kind of like outstay its welcome a little bit. So how you guys feel about? I know Rob, you didn't see it too much, but like Zach, how do you feel about that?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, they're fine. I dig the suit design when he gets the extra the modes. The Oren form where he has like it's like a what do I call that thing? I want to call it a butt flap. That's not the right word. Loincloth. He gets that light loincloth kind
like
of
loincloth sash kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on it is each of the symbols of the O-Ranger team. So it's like you get the circle, the star, the square, all that. And like that's a fun, neat little design that they threw in to kind of reference that. Yeah. And I just love the overall like design of Kaiser even in a standard form because it's a perfect love letter to Godzilla. So
yeah. It's pretty cool. And then he has different finishers in each form, obviously, as well. Oren, like I said, he is the big fist of God kind of thing. Come down. He punches the ground and a big, like, giant kaiju fist comes out. Kind of like Bayonetta when she summons the demon feet. That kind of thing. And then in Shinken form, he creates the Red's giant, huge flaming sword, and he slashes with that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I got to catch it.
Kaiser's going to be your dude, Rob. I know it's going to be your favorite character, period.
Bro, come on. There
and
was
then
never a question.
His mech. We got to talk about his mech a little bit. It's a flying airship that is a crocodile, and it can split into 2 different mech because one of them is then a motorcycle that rides around, and it's
Oh god.
each one is controlled by one of the SD brothers, but they're big, like they grow when he summons the mech. So
just imagine the same kind of scale to like the normal people to the SD dudes, but they get big. So like they're like half the size of everyone else, but they're riding around on these things. And I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but the crocodile reminds me of the Gokai Silver crocodile.
Bro,
I'm assuming that was on purpose, but wasn't his mecha like a crocodile thing too? I know it had like 3 forms.
No, his was they called it the Q-Rex.
Oh, that's right. It was Q-Rex. That's right.
Tyrannosaurus and an airship and a drill or something like that.
Yeah, I know it had 3 forms.
But yeah, the crocodile form. I think you're thinking of Juo the World.
Yes,
that's crocodile.
Yes,
crocodile and wolf and rhino. But like it's very similar in the design of like the head is very long and narrow and teeth everywhere. And
sorry, I'm caught up on that because I really liked the world, the not the character. I didn't watch the show, but I liked the design and I liked the powers. Did it live up to that, or did it shit the bed too?
No, it was good. Juoger, I really like Juoger, and the world, like his characterization was odd at times, but like his suits and his powers are really cool.
Okay.
So. Listen, I'm a fan of Hunter x Hunter, so if anyone can whip your ass with a fishing rod, I'm all for it. So
there you go. The jingle. We were
that's
talking
what sticks
about
out the most.
Yeah, we were talking about on Ranger Command a couple or not our most recent episode that just released today, but our episode that released last week about the possibility of Sentai seasons that haven't been adapted yet that could be adapted, and we were talking about Juoger and remembering back on it. I was like, yeah, I really like Juoger. It would be a fun season, but I don't really see how it would tie into like the anniversary theming of Power Rangers. Because Power Rangers coming up on an anniversary, and so this season should be, adapted from a season that would make sense in an anniversary context. And so one of the ones we talked about was this one, Zenkaiger, because I mean, you have all the built-in anniversary nods right there because it's an anniversary Sentai season. So this would be a good adaptation because not only do you have those nods in the form of the mecha and the robot suits, but like you have the main characters who look like previous Megazords and who, you could hire voice actors and save on hiring, physical actors.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think I wonder if that was kind of part of the plan too, because obviously when they did Megaforce and Super Megaforce, oh my goodness, my cats are going nuts. Oh my goodness. When they did Megaforce and Super Megaforce, they obviously kind of like fudged their way around the older seasons before G Ranger. They were like, oh, these are Legacy Rangers or Lost Rangers, whatever they called them. And there's a lot of that in Zenkaiger. Like right out the gate, pretty much everyone that Stacy uses is at first you see all the teams from, that are associated with the Zenkaigers, but Stacy then immediately uses like everyone from like the first 15, like almost everyone. So it'd be interesting to see them kind of explain their way around that if they did use Zenkaiger. Not that they have to use those clips, but it'd be interesting to see them do it. Especially when they do the mech lineup. It's like no one, if you're only watching Power Rangers, you're not going to have any idea who any of these are.
That scene where he summons like 40 mech all at once, and I'm just like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then like you're like, how are they going to get out of this though? They're so screwed because these guys are going to absolutely wreck house, and then they all just start disappearing, and everyone's like, yeah, you lost power because you can't do that. Don't summon more than 10 at a time. Maybe.
They literally were like, this isn't in the plot. Can you not do that? So they authored him real quick and hit delete in the backspace, and they undid it. Because it was like 15 of them just. Stacy's like, if you're going to let me do it, I'm going to do it.
Stacy's that player at the role-playing table where he's like, well, it says in the rules I can do it, and the DM is like, no. We're not
can you not? Don't be an asshole. Come on now.
don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Doing it anyway.
It was crazy because they start like combining finishers and stuff too. Nuts. Yeah. So they definitely would have lost right there if it wasn't for plot. In a real world, it'd be over. Game over right there. Stacy won.
I did love that one episode, and I'm struggling to remember which one it was, but when the Zenkaigers all grow, and they're like, well, when Zenkaiser flips his gear over, he can make us into Megazords. What happens if we flip our gears over? And they summon the giant Geertlinger cannon.
So yeah, they bring back after I don't know how many seasons now. They bring back the team cannon, and they drop that around. I want to say like Mega Ranger around there, something like that. They dropped it around there. And they brought back the team cannon, which I always thought was the coolest part, especially when they combine their like individual weapons into the team cannon. I always thought that was so cool. Yeah, they summon a ginormous Geertlinger.
Because they're mecha size. They're already huge. And then they summon this massive Geertlinger, which is the size of a building itself.
Yeah. Like it dwarfs them. It's so big.
Yeah.
And they're already kaiju size. And, you see Gaon taking the big thing and like using every bit of his body to try and swing it. It was so cool. It was so cool to see the team cannon back. It was Peacemaker saying it's the same episode where all the mecha show up. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was that one.
I got it.
It's so good. Such a cool callback. I miss those things, man. And it was one of those things like I knew they got rid of, but I didn't know how much I missed it until I saw them do it again.
Yeah,
like
it's always a fun...
cool. Yeah, like the team finisher thing, like, you had Gokaiger doing the slashes, and like in this one they have the big, the Kamehameha beam guns, but like the cannons hit different. The cannons really do hit different.
See, I just okay. Are we going to assume that we're getting a Green Ranger?
We don't know about color, but there is a rumor that Two Kaiser's sister will become a ranger.
Oh,
that might be. Peacemaker mentioned something about toy scans, and whether we want to see them or not, I'm gonna hold off on that just because whoever listens to this, I don't know if they want to be spoiled with that kind of stuff because people get weird when it comes to scans.
We don't want to pre-spoil anything.
Yeah, people got really upset when the scans started coming around to the new Saber stuff, so I'm gonna hold off on that one if you don't mind. I appreciate you though. If you want to send it to me on Twitter, feel free.
Peace, who's your favorite?
Gokai Gallon Buster. Did they have one in Gokaiger? Did they have a cannon in Gokaiger?
Oh yeah, the big ship where they all put their keys in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the Gallon Buster. Okay, so they did have one. So I guess Gokaiger was the last one.
Final way.
Peacemaker says there's no confirmation about Flint in the toy scans, just rumors right now. So.
Yeah, it's just a rumor, and the rumor is that Flint will get to ranger up and join her brother.
Kind of cool.
Which makes me wonder, so she'd be obviously probably a Gokaiger themed ranger herself, given that that's the style she knows. But we're running out, like, would she be a purple Gokaiger or an orange Gokaiger, or like we're running out of colors here because Gokaiger had
everything.
What about Gokai White?
Ooh, that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool.
White.
Was there was a Gokai Pink, right?
Yeah, there's Gokai Pink.
Yeah.
Gokai
Pink, yellow, green, blue. Was there a black? I mean, Gokai Silver.
No, it was not a black.
Kind of black.
Silver, gold, Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. That'd be kind of cool. Or maybe she's just like, she finds a new Sentai and likes that one too.
Maybe.
That
could
be an option thing too. Because that's literally why she made Gokai. She's like, I thought they would look kind of cool.
Yeah.
They covered.
Oh, Peacemaker saying maybe Lupin. Keep that thief thing going on.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be kind of cool. A new Lupin Ranger.
Ooh.
The fourth Lupin, or I guess technically the fifth Lupin Ranger, since Lupin Gold and Silver is the same as Pat Ranger Gold and Silver. That'd be pretty cool. I'd dig that. Yeah. What is your predictions for where the story is going to go?
Okay. So actually I have one question that I haven't caught up yet. So do they ever go into why they were able to seal up the worlds?
No.
They haven't.
Not that I remember.
Yet. Yeah, no.
Not yet. Okay.
What was that?
Okay.
That was a ghost.
Did you guys hear that too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay then.
That was terrifying. Rob's about to get nuked out of existence.
Okay.
Okay. That was a live ghost, people.
I was
here first on Tokudon.
I was doing a weapons check real quick. Okay.
A lint roller.
Zach, give me the changer.
Wait. Hang on. It's a ghost. I got just the thing.
There you go.
Oh snap!
Rob, where's your ghost driver? Get a new icon.
A Ghostbuster is always prepared.
There you go. I love it.
Gotta love it. I forget what I was saying.
Fantastic.
That's
I
that
bought that
weirded
for
me
myself
out.
for my birthday this past year, and I have not regretted any of it ever.
You can't.
For any of our audio listeners, that was a prop of the Ghostbuster proton pointer.
Proton thrower, yeah.
There you go, thrower.
Yeah, it's the Hasbro one that they came out with, and I said, I'm probably not going to need that. I'll hold off on buying that. And then GameStop had a sale where it was like, oh, instead of $100, it's like $70. And I said, okay, yeah, sure, done.
Yeah. Sure.
Because I mean, now we're getting off topic from Zenkaiger, but I'm a Ghostbuster fan since I was 3 years old. So I have the costume, and I was a part of a fan group in Chicago that we did all the convention circuits and did a bunch of charity work and stuff like that. We were in the parades and everything. And I said, they're just piecemealing out the props at this point. So yeah, I'm going to buy that and attach it to a proton pack and have a sound prop and everything.
There you go. I think that's the only piece they have left, right? Because they did the capture as well.
They did no, they haven't done the trap. The trap was done by Mattel back in the day, under their Matty Collector line, and that was a great prop. And I had one. I had to sell it, unfortunately, and it was at the time $300 to buy because it was fully like lights, sounds, activated when you step on the pedal, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
As close to the real thing as it gets. But the aftermarket value on those things is you're lucky to find one now for under $600. So
that's crazy.
I'm like, I kind of regret selling mine, but at the same time, I used that money to go to Power Morphicon back in 2014. So
worth it.
There you go.
Good
That'll do it.
It was worth it at the time.
It was a fair trade.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting back on track.
Getting back to Zenkaiger. Yeah, sorry. This has been the Ghostbusters Minute with Zach.
The Ghostbusters segment. That's a preview for our new podcast. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for the new one coming out, that's probably gonna be awesome.
I can't wait. It's gonna. I like the trailers. It's gonna look so good.
I hope it is, but yeah, let's see. As far as predictions, I don't know. I got to catch up to you guys yet, but I mean, from what I feel, I think that the Kaito's parents are going to be some kind of major thing for the bad guy. That, and I'm still going to go with this prediction that if they're going to off anybody, Juran.
Interesting.
Gee, I think I'm going to agree with you on, I think Kaito's parents are either held captive by the bad guys and are being forced to work with them, or they got like brainwashed by the bad guys and turned into robots of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're definitely still around, and I think Kaito is going to be saving them.
What if the wall is his father?
Well, I kind of had an idea. Speaking of that, when when I heard Stacy and Kaito had a connection, I was thinking that Ichijuda and Bashitara were Kaito's mom and dad turned into Kikinoids. And then, being brainwashed by the wall, whatever, that's how they developed all this stuff, and that's where they are now. And then, we find out Bashitara just had a whole bunch of wives and he's a huge man whore. But I mean, that's still, I guess, technically possible. I don't know. But that was kind of my theory at first. So could potentially see something like that, like if they're brothers or half brothers or something. So I thought that was maybe the thing. Peacemaker would love to see more of the Kikinoids, which is a big ask because of the budget, but there's definitely enough of a reason to have more, when it comes to the Sentai and things like that. So
I hope they find Estitopia and then can remove the curse from Ricky and Katana.
Oh, that's definitely going to happen at some point. And then that's probably how they'll get like the final season power up or something.
Yeah, I'm sure something will happen with that.
Yeah. So we'll see. Other than that, do you think we're going to stop at 7, or do you think, I mean, I guess technically 8 if the sister becomes one too, or do you think we're going to get some more Rangers?
Oh, you want to go full, what was it? Kyoryu
with like 11 of them?
Like 11 Rangers?
It's possible. I mean, mom and dad, I mean, the granny did offer to be, I think it's the granny, the aunt, the shop owner, whatever she is.
Yeah.
She did offer to be a Zenkaiger right out the gate when they found those weapons. I'm just saying.
Why didn't they do that? They should have.
I don't know. I was ready for it. I was here for it.
Grandma whooping ass.
Yeah. Granny Zenkaiser. I am all here for that.
That'd be fun.
That would have been the jam. But, definitely.
Oh, man. is there anything you want to see them do with your favorite season of Sentai? Or is there anything, whether it's like a power or, you know, a new mode or weapon or something like that? Is there anything you want to see as being an anniversary season? Is there anything you guys want to see specifically with a version of your favorite Sentai or Sentai team, whatever?
Well, I know it's either in this episode that was released today or the one coming next week. I don't remember if it was a preview clip I saw or a preview picture I saw, but they're going to use Deca Ranger's powers to summon handcuffs to cuff.
I saw that clip as well.
Zenkaiger.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're using Deca Ranger powers. Okay, I'm happy. That's what I need.
So I think what we could probably try to do at some point is the Easter eggs in this show, because I'm sure. I mean, we don't know as much as you would, but it's definitely something that's in every episode. There's always something that like, wait, I know that. Like that's from when I was 5. You know?
Peacemaker wants to see a Kikanoid pair that's Lupat. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Isn't that just Balance and Naga from Q Ranger? The BN
Pretty
Thieves?
much, yeah.
All right, you get one cameo. Who is it?
Ooh. I want Marvelous.
I'm going Captain Marvelous.
Yep, I was just gonna say.
I feel like it would have to be Marvelous.
Have him come in and be like, "Why are you jacking my style? Not cool, bro."
Yeah.
Like you're no. Actually, he would just shoot him and then tell him.
I don't know. Like, two guys are pretty trigger happy too. They may just shoot each other, honestly. Like, two guys has no problem just shooting people.
Pirate fight with those two.
That'd be kind of cool. Right on the plank, Davy Jones style.
Bro,
I'd be down for that. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm hoping for. If it happens. I mean,
one of my favorite seasons is Jew Ranger, just because Mighty Morphin and all that kind of stuff. So I'm totally happy that it, and I'm not surprised, honestly, that it got some kind of spotlight. I would like to see them kind of play into the dinosaur stuff a little more with Jew Ranger, or Juron, I should say. You know, maybe give him some new weapons from the other Sentai teams or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm totally down for whatever at this point. Just like I said, my vertical slice of this is extremely small. So will say one of the coolest things was the Q Ranger gear gave them the ultimate luck in the sushi episode.
Yeah.
So as Juron and Kaito were tied together, they just kind of found themselves over in the battle all of a sudden.
Yep.
Oh man,
good one.
It'd be crazy. Peacemaker's also saying Yamato because he did a crossover with Gokaiger.
Oh,
that'd be good.
Pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Do you guys have any other final thoughts on Zenkaiger? Anything like that?
I'm enjoying it so far, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's fun, and it hasn't stopped being fun, so it's only going to get progressively so. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. If I can find a way to watch it.
There's ways.
Oh, hey, Kat. Excuse me.
Yeah, same. I'm on board for this. Like I said, it's one of the few Sentais that I'm watching, and I'm like kind of all about it. Just because I've had a very weird relationship with a lot of these that I've seen. So the repertoire is expanding, though. We're getting in there with different series. So we're have some other episodes planned with some Showa series and stuff like that. So we'll be getting into that. Everyone can watch Zenkaiger. Like, even if this is one of those anniversary seasons you can watch, even if you're not super familiar with Sentai, which I think is kind of cool too. You know, there's some shows like Geo or like Decade where you kind of have to know where they're coming from to really appreciate it to its full extent. But I think Zenkaiger is great just as a love letter to Sentai as a whole, and is super cool. And it's just a good show in general. So check it out, even if you're not super familiar with Sentai.
Yeah, it's super easy to get into. You don't need a lot of knowledge of history and backstory. Like, they don't expect that you know every previous season of Sentai.
Yeah,
it's good.
Nope. And then record your reactions when you see Juron shoot that first Goon, and then send it to us, because that's going to be
just make a huge collage video of that. Of everyone crying. 20 minutes of just everyone like dry heave laughing. It's a great show. Oh my god, I love it. Zach, thank you for coming to hang out, dude. It's always a pleasure, as always.
Well, as always, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, shill your stuff, dude. This is the point where we shill our stuff.
Sure, man. So I am on the Ranger Command Power Hour podcast. We have a new episode releasing today where we talk about stuff, news, all kinds of fun stuff going on with Power Rangers. I'm on Twitter, at Zach Lavoie on Twitter. you usually find me posting nonsense about Tokusatsu, D&D, movies, TV stuff I'm into, hobbies and things I watch. I'm just a giant nerd. So if you like nerdy stuff, come to my Twitter. It's fine. I want to come to my Titter, and I'm like, that's not the right word.
That's a different website.
That's
don't
a
go to that
different
website.
website. Yeah, we don't go there.
Zach's not on that one, or at least not the real one. So Reface is a crazy app. Let's just put it that way.
It's all them deep fakes, man.
Oh, goodness. What about you, Rob?
Well, I'm Six Echo at my Creepypasta channel. You'll find me here with Carl talking our nerd stuff. Yeah, we'll catch you then.
Yeah, this is Tokudon. If you are watching this, you know where to find it on twitch.tv/KaijuCarl. We do all kinds of stuff, not just Toku, but I try to put a Toku spin on just about everything we do. Later today, we'll be playing some more of the Power Ranger Battle for the Grid story mode and be doing some probably online matches with our buddy Ken. He's going to be hanging out, and I'm getting him to drink the Kool-Aid, so his new Sunday name is Tokunard. So I'm getting him. He's getting in on the Kool-Aid. He's my next victim. So
come join us.
Be sure to hang out. That'll be in a little bit, but you can always check us out Monday, Friday, and Sunday here on twitch.tv/KaijuCarl. You can follow me at KaijuCarl on Twitter and all the other social things that we do. I post a lot about fighting games and Toku and just try to spread some love with #GlobalSatsu, trying to get it around the world, region free for everyone. Just kind of bring awareness to Tokusatsu. That's kind of a thing.
Help us help you.
Yeah,
help
and
us.
Just feel free to hit me up with whatever. We're always down to hang out. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. It's a pleasure as always.
See ya.
Later.
See you later.